So hello everyone, thank you so much for joining Let's Get Stimulated for our first ever event. My name is Brittany. I am one of the co-founders and owners of Let's Get Stimulated, and we are very, very happy to have you all here with us, learning more about why these wonderful people have decided to choose a STEM-based career or a STEM-based major. And just welcome. Thank you for showing up and supporting.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sha'Kayla Nunez. I'm extremely excited for tonight's event. I am one of the co-owners and co-founders of Let's Get Stimulated, along with Brittany, and we hope that this event tonight is very informative for you all and that it's more to come.
So to start off, we kind of wanted to introduce you all to our company and help you guys understand exactly what our goals are and what our mission is. So just going to read off of this. Our mission, we're dedicated to providing financial assistance to high school and undergraduate minority students wishing to pursue or pursuing a degree in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, otherwise known as STEM. Our goal is to ensure that minority high school and undergraduate students develop their full individual potential through providing financial assistance, mentorship, college or career readiness workshops, and tutoring. Let's Get Stimulated promotes continued education within the STEM field in addition to increasing representation of minorities in STEM careers. We are devoted to providing services that help our students develop self-confidence, interview and public speaking effectiveness, leadership, and excellence in academic achievement.
So let's get stimulated. We have a few value statements. One is that we strive to bring awareness to STEM degrees and future possibilities in STEM related careers. In addition, we promote continued education in STEM by encouraging self-confidence, by decreasing apprehensions to succeed in STEM related curriculums. We also encourage critical thinking and innovation. We promote self-accountability, respectfulness, and honesty as high standards of behavioral practice. In addition, we are dedicated to providing an environment of encouragement, confidence, and academic excellence with integrity. And Let's Get Stimulated believes that we want to be a world-renowned program that promotes financial support and academic excellence to minority students seeking a continued education in science, technology, engineering, and math. Go ahead, Brittany.
No problem. We're just going to take some time to introduce our board members who helped us put minor things together and major things together, such as this event, and as well as help us find a nice little beating path as to what Let's Get Stimulated is going to become. So I'm going to pull some people in so that they can say hi, starting with Dr. Alyssa Cobb. She's just going to wave at us really quickly. She is a recent graduate of Morehouse School of Medicine. So I'm going to give her opportunity to tell everyone hello.
Brittany, I think we can stop sharing the screen now.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thanks. Great. So Alyssa she'll say hello. While we wait for her, I'll also introduce Miss Annette Inty. She is another board member, current student at Morehouse School of Medicine.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here tonight and very excited for our first panel talk and our first event for Let's Get Stimulated. I know it's going to be an amazing time tonight.
And our final board member is Miss Ivory Ellis. She is also a student at Morehouse School of Medicine pursuing her PhD. Give her a chance to say hello also.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be part of LGS, and I look forward to hear the insight and information that our panelists will share with us today about their pursuit of STEM.
Thank you, ladies.
So now we will have the introduction of our panelists by, again, Miss Ivory Ellis, if she can come back, please.
Hello. So this evening we have the pleasure of having a lovely set of panelists, and I will read their bios to you. First, we have Ian. Dr. Ian Saunders is a native of Roanoke, Virginia, and currently lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he is conducting his postdoctoral studies in cancer immunology. Ian started his early academic journey at Norfolk State University, where he received his Bachelor of Science degree in biology pre-med. After finishing his undergraduate degree, Ian received an opportunity to continue his education at the graduate level at Morehouse School of Medicine as a PhD student in the Graduate Education in Biomedical Sciences program. His research focused on studying the anti-cancer properties of natural agents as potential preventative and alternative treatments to conventional therapeutics for cancer patients. Ian graduated from the PhD program this spring, 2020, and is currently a postdoctoral fellow at the Janssen Pharmaceutical Companies of Johnson & Johnson. Outside of his career pursuits, Ian is also a member of several professional organizations, is a musician / DJ, and loves to spend time with his family and friends. Ian hopes to continue to find and create a better alternative to cancer treatment and to expand the interests of young African Americans in STEM fields. Welcome, Ian. Next, we have Honor. Honor Williams is a graduating senior chemistry major at Dillard University. Originally, she is from Atlanta, Georgia. After undergraduate, she plans to enroll in a PhD program studying biochemistry and pharmacology. Honor is a member of the Royal Blue Palm Squad and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She also serves as the Vice President of DU Sustainability Blue Goes Green and participates in many community service activities on and off campus. She has a burning desire in research, and her latest research project through the University of Nebraska-Lincoln is titled Elucidating the Impact of Transskeletalase in Epilepsy. Honor believes her purpose is to help and encourage people in the health field, which drives her desire to become a clinical pharmacist. Welcome, Honor. Next, we have Quentin. Quentin Samuels began his collegiate career at Savannah State University and later on received his BS in electrical engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology. He is currently employed as a cybersecurity engineer at Georgia Tech Research Institute while working on his MS in cybersecurity. As a cybersecurity engineer, Quentin is inspired to protect the military defense systems from cyber threats and has been influenced by his experience in the Air National Guard in a major way. In fact, he is that guy who always ensuring all his friends and family take the greatest measures to protect their personal information. He is also obsessed with entrepreneurship, finance, and helping people discover their passions in life. People seeking to become financially literate come to him for help with understanding credit, managing debt, building wealth, and creating side hustles because he is passionate about equipping underserved populations with the tools necessary to become better in their lives through finance. Quentin welcomes a chance to connect with you and talk more about cybersecurity, entrepreneurship, finance, and discovering your passion. Welcome, Quentin. Next, we have Doreen. Doreen Esumang is Ghanaian and Togolese, born and raised in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Following high school at Old Bridge High School, she is currently a senior at Montclair State University, pursuing a bachelor's degree in information technology. Post-graduation, Doreen is aiming to start a career in IT, while concurrently attending graduate school to obtain a master's degree in software engineering. Welcome, Doreen. Next, we have Jada. Jada Burks is a graduate from Prairie View A&M University. She received her bachelor's degree in Management Information Systems in May of 2020. She was the program committee chairperson for CompTIA IT Pro at her university, formerly known as Association of Information Technology Professionals. She currently works for ConocoPhillips in Bartsville, Oklahoma as a full-time information technology rotational analyst. Some of her hobbies include working out, photography, and investing. Glad to have you, Jada. And last but not least, we have Amber. Amber Trammell was born on April 10, 1992 in Dallas, Texas to Phyllis and Earl Trammell. After excelling her academics and athletics at Skyline High, Amber went on to Dillard University in New Orleans, Louisiana. She majored in mathematics and double-minored in computer science and physics. Amber's semi-love of math came from long division beating her up in the 4th grade, but she was determined then that math would not defeat her. Although it did in a couple of courses, but she prevailed and accepted her first career job as a network analyst. Now Amber works as a system engineer for the United Parcel Service. Due to Amber majoring in mathematics, it has opened up many doors for her, career-wise. Amber now spends her days working on leadership skills and inspiring young women to study math. Glad to have you, Amber.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ellis. So now we're going to have our co-founder, Sha'Kayla, go through some housekeeping rules so that we can make sure that, the program runs smoothly, no one's talking over each other, and everything runs as accordingly. So I'll hand it over to you, Sha'Kayla.
Thank you, Brittany. So for tonight, a few housekeeping rules that we have for the panelists. For each question, panelists, please do not exceed 1 minute when giving your response. And also, please be respectful to the other panelists by muting your sound if you're not speaking. We also ask that you be honest as possible when answering any questions. It will benefit the individuals that are participating. Addition, for our attendees, please send all questions through the program into the Q&A box and make sure the question addresses the panelist you wish to answer your question. After the panel discussion, we will address the questions in the Q&A box and allow the panelists to address the question. And finally, at the end of the panel discussion, there will be a trivia question that we will allow the attendees to answer. And the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat box wins a prize.
Okay, so to go on ahead and start with our questions, we have 2 different categories. The first category is called #ADifferentWorld. So we're going to be asking our panelists all about their college journey and things of that nature. So first question, this is for all panelists. Why did you choose your college and major?
Okay, I'll answer. I actually was not going to Dillard at first. It's actually funny that I'm on FaceTime and Zoom with my grand pro fight, Sha'Kayla and Amber. You guys were the first 2 that I actually met at DU Dimensions. So they actually were the reason why I picked Dillard. Like I said, I was going to Xavier University for pharmacy, and Dillard was a big opportunity in a small package. So don't sleep on your HBCUs, don't sleep on small schools. Dillard only has 1,200 students, so it's very small and intimate. And that was why I really needed to be there. But it was a blessing in disguise, and I'm just grateful that I was given the opportunity to be able to attend Dillard University. I love Dillard. I'll never change it, trade it for the world. So hope that answers your question in less than a minute. I'm done now. So
Fantastic. Anyone else? Next. Who's next?
All right, so I originally wanted to go to Georgia Tech. So my whole path was kind of funny. I originally wanted to go to Georgia Tech starting out, but I was extremely horrible at SAT, ACTs and stuff like that. So I scored extremely low. And at the time, I thought that me going to Savannah State University, that was the only option, because HBCUs, they kind of look out for you. They don't really put those stipulations of, if you don't have this specific score, that's pretty, you're not going to get in college. So I kind of thought I was kind of like a failure in a sense, because I didn't get into the school that I wanted to get into. But I ended up getting into Savannah State University, and that's where I started my collegiate career. And when I started there, I realized how much love HBCU could offer, and how much they got me started and gave me that foundation that I needed to move on to Georgia Tech, so I could come back on platforms like this and just show how much just reaching back helps people and giving them that foundation. And with electrical engineering, I've always been fascinated with electronics. So that's kind of why I chose electrical engineering. I just always knew I wanted to do something that brought in a lot of money. I thought about being like a doctor, lawyer, but I couldn't deal with blood and stuff like that. So I didn't choose to be a doctor. And then when it came down to being a lawyer, that's something that it's still on the horizon. But being an electrical engineer was something that I knew I was going to be able to go 4 years and have a career that enabled me to make a lot of money pretty much. So that's why I chose electrical engineering.
I can go next. I guess since you want us to be honest, honestly, my mom filled out my application to Dillard. My older sister went to Dillard, and so like I just kind of woke up one day and my parents were like, "Where are you going to school?" And I didn't know. I have no idea. Like I was really waiting on one specific school to give me an offer, and it just never happened. So like I woke up on the day that you need to turn in your deposit, and I was like, okay, shoot, where I'm going. And it just so happened, like, I don't know, God or my mom, but it was an acceptance letter from Dillard right there saying, hey, you need to pay your money by this date, which happened to be the date that I woke up out of nowhere. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me go ask my dad for this $300 so I can have a housing spot. And that's why I went to Dillard. But the reason why I stayed at Dillard is because the professors were very, very nurturing, and they pretty much made me believe I can do whatever I wanted to do. Like I said in my bio, like loan division kicked my butt when I was in the 4th grade. I literally started crying, and I hated math at that point. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I went to a magnet school for law. I realized I hate reading and writing, and that's all they do. So I quickly X'd that. And in college, they were just like, you have to go to class. And I was like, oh, shoot, well, let me see, what do I need to actually be physically in class for? And math was just kind of one of those things. If you miss a day, you're kind of gone for the year. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go through math. I like puzzles. I like solving equations. And then our math department, even though it's really small, our professors are very well connected. So through that, I got a lot of internships and I did a lot of research, which pretty much helped me become one of the forefront people of the positions that I have now and when I graduated college.
I guess I can go next. I chose Norfolk State and HBCU specifically because of the same reasons that everybody else said. It was smaller, it was more nurturing, more hands-on. Honestly, I love Norfolk State. Hopefully I can go back and teach one day or be involved somehow. But it was just a beautiful journey, get to meet a lot of people who are like-minded and also people who have different perspectives than you have as well. I chose biology because I was into sports growing up. I thought that I was going to make it at one point, and then it got to high school. And I was like, okay, you might not be the star NFL player that you think you're going to be. So what was I interested in? I wanted to know how sports worked, and more importantly, how the human body worked. So that got me interested in biology. I went to college, stuck with it, didn't really know what I wanted to do. By the time it hit my senior year, it was either go to med school or apply for grad school, and by God's grace, I got into grad school. So, you know, my journey's not over, but anything is possible. So, yeah, STEM is great.
I can go next. So, in high school and throughout like middle school and everything, I played like sports. I played basketball. That was like my favorite sport. So, I thought I would go to college for that, but I'm really not the tallest. I'm only 4'11", so not too many scholarships came my way. So I'm from Houston, Texas. So I wanted to go to the HBCU, but I didn't want to go to TSU because that's like right down the street. So I chose Prairie View because it's a little far out that I could have a little space for my parents. And then I chose my major. Well, at first I was a business management major, but that's kind of too general for me. I minored in MIS, and I decided if I'm going to just minor, I might as well take it on as a full major because I like the classes better anyway. So that's how I chose my university and major.
I'll go next. So I chose Montclair State University because my parents kind of shot down my dream of going out of state. So I originally wanted to go to NYU, but they're like, nah, you got to stay in Jersey. So that was really one of the only schools in Jersey that I had any interest in. So I was like, okay, and they gave good financial aid. So I was like, why not? Surprisingly, I actually went in as an accounting major, but the professors made me hate it. I was like, nah, I can't continue doing this. So I switched to IT because growing up, I've loved everything like technology related. So surprisingly, my parents were like, this is where we expected you to go, but you chose accounting, so we were going to support you anyways. But yeah, that's why I chose my college and major.
I believe that was everyone. So shout out if it wasn't. But fantastic. Thank you guys. The next question I'm going to ask is I have a list of them, so I'm trying to get the best ones. What was your toughest experience in your journey throughout college? You all have either matriculated all the way through or you're a senior, so you've been through everything. So tell us what was the hardest thing that you had to tackle while in college.
Tackle like academically or socially or just all together?
Let's go for both.
Okay. For me, I would say my biggest adjustment was, I guess, being a collegiate athlete. I was not used to the demands that it required for me. Like, I was not used to waking up with the Roosters at 4:00 in the morning to go play basketball. Like, and it wasn't fun. Like, I'm used to going to play basketball for fun, but I was getting up to go practice and like, train to be better. But I was like, yo, it's 4:00 in the morning. My next class is at like 10 o'clock. So I feel like that was my biggest adjustment. I did have 2 8 a.m. classes. Regardless of however, whatever time you wake up for high school, I promise you 8 a.m. classes in college are a totally different beast. I missed my very good share of them, and that's when I realized they were not for me. I think that was my biggest hurdle. When I started taking pure mathematics classes, those became my hurdle because I hate theories. So having to learn and think like I guess you can say engineer or STEM major, that was kind of tough because like I said, in high school, I was in the law cluster. So I went from reading and writing and having everything that I needed right there in that on this sheet of paper to here's a theorem, you got to make all these letters turn into numbers. So that was probably my biggest adjustment.
I'll go next. I'm sorry if anyone else was getting ready to go, but my biggest adjustment, I have to say, for being in college and matriculating through college is definitely being away from home. A lot of you that know me know that I'm very family oriented. My family, like my mom, my dog, my grandparents, my brother, the gang's all here. So me leaving to go all the way to New Orleans, it is close enough for me to get back home. It's just a 6-hour drive. The cities are similar, but I get homesick really bad the first week of school. Every year I cry. Pretty sure some of you've seen this picture of me crying at the farewell service. Just, yeah. So it definitely is me being away from home. And in school, organic chemistry, I'm sure you guys can relate. That definitely kicked my behind. I did get a B both semesters, and an A in lab one semester. So it was pretty cool, but I'm not going to sit here and say that wasn't a stump for me. It definitely was hard. It's a lot of patterns that you have to learn. And one of our professors is not always the easiest to learn and listen to all day. So that definitely was hard. But just to piggyback off of what Amber said, really just staying hard on myself. When you get to college, you're on your own. So it's not mama, grandma, daddy, cousin, hey, get up, go to class. It's, no, you're here. You're like a fish in a shark tank. Like, get up, go to class, do what you got to do. Like, chase your lions every day. You're responsible for what you do in your 24 hours, and you can't let anybody control that. So definitely learning that. So yeah, those are my few things that kind of were an adjustment, were a little bit hard.
I'd have to say mine was the workload and the time that it required. When I was in high school, I was one of those students that, whatever was taught in class, I didn't need to study. Like, I did well on everything that I needed to. But being an IT major, it was like you really needed to buckle down and put a lot of time into it, because you can't just go to class and say, oh, I got it. You really need to sit there and do all this coding. Like, it's a lot of, time management that needs to be put into it. So I think that was my biggest adjustment, because I was like, wow, I really got to sit here and study and actually, make sure I'm understanding what I'm doing. So yeah.
Adjustment was when I first got to Savannah State University, I was like top of my class, getting all the scholarships, making all the A's, 3.8, 3.9 student. And then when I get to Georgia Tech, I realized that pretty much everybody in the school was like at the top of their high schools and stuff like that. So what I had to really understand, I remember getting my first C. And when I got that first C, I felt like I was like low key depressed. I thought it was like the end of the world. And I had to realize that a C wasn't the end of the world when it came to college. As long as you like pass the class and you done with it, it's room to move on, and that does not dictate like your entire career in college. So I had to really adjust to that and understand that, you know, I graduated with over 3.0, but that wasn't going to be something that determined like that. People try to hold you to a GPA. They try to make it seem like that is and the pretty much the end all be all. And I know a lot of employers use that to decipher who they're going to hire and not, but you just have to find different loopholes and use whatever. I had to understand that I found different attributes about myself that I could use to my advantage to be able to kind of overcome that adjustment that I had. So that's pretty much what it was.
For me, I would have to say, because I was the only child, so coming into college atmosphere, like you don't know anybody. I'm not like the most outspoken. I'm trying to go like meet friends and do all of that. So I had to like really find my voice and be comfortable with, hey, do you want to hang out if I have a roommate? Not a roommate, not if I have a roommate. Hey, do you want to hang out? I'm like new here, whatever. You're trying to find friends because I'm used to just being by myself. And then another adjustment for me was working in a team environment. Like for a lot of my classes, I had a lot of projects that I had to work with other people. So I had to learn how to not just do all the work myself, but communicate and talk with the other group members as well.
I think the hardest thing I had to deal with was discipline. I had to think about being on time. My parents and then some of my friends still get on me about this to this day, but being on time is such a big thing. You don't really realize it until you're on your own and you're an adult and you're in college and nobody's here to wake you up. Nobody's here texting you to remind you about your schedule to show up at this place on time. And, you know, just being on time has such a big presence before you even open your mouth. And I think that's something that I needed to work on. I'm still working on, so I'm not without faults now. But it was one of my biggest hurdles. So I think that was my little piece of the pie.
Awesome. So the next question kind of falls in line. It's the next step. What was your freshman year experience like? We all, you know, have different things that happened to us throughout that first year, being kicked out of our parents' house and on our own. So definitely share that with everyone who's watching.
Okay. Freshman year. Yikes.
We want honesty now.
Oh man. Okay, so honesty. As quick as I got put out of my parents' house, I almost got put out of Dillard. Ironically, the funny part. Yeah, it was crazy. It was one of those situations where, like you said, yeah, you just in a new world and then you're just trying to make friends with people. I know me, I went in kind of like, oh, I want to make friends with everybody. And I realized early on that's not a good thing at all. Some people aren't meant to be in your circle and not meant to be on your journey. So with that, that person ended up getting me caught up in something. And so like, you know, thankfully, because I got the Lord on my side, that kind of subsided and I was able to continue my freshman year and then eventually continue to finish out at Dillard. But like everybody say, a homesickness was definitely a big thing for me. I didn't think that it was going to be because I was so ready to get out of my parents' house. Like I was so ready to live on my own and see what it was like. But it definitely was an eye-opening experience because like they said, like there's nobody there to wake you up. Like I said, I was having practice at 4 o'clock. I had to be on the floor at 4:30, 4:45. So, you know, you got to prepare yourself like, okay, I need to wake up at this time so I can be in the gym at this time. If I have an injury, I need to be able to be on the athletic trainer's table and I still need to be on the floor at 4:45. So at earliest, I was probably up at like 3:45. So like, you know, mom's not there, dad's not there saying, hey, you need to go work out or hey, you need to go to practice. It's on me. And like I said, like after I got out of practice, it was that tough decision. Like, okay, do I want to eat and take a shower, or do I want to go to class? You know, being an 18-year-old, you're really going to go with the more irresponsible decision. I went with what was easy. So that's when discipline kicked in, and discipline was really big for me. Like, I was disciplined as a child, but you know, that was my parents. I had to discipline myself, and I had to want it for myself. So I had to say, okay, you got this scholarship, you playing collegiate ball, this is what you wanted to do. This is what you want. This is your future. So I had to buckle down, and I had to get with it. Like, my first semester, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it was trash. I got like a 2.5 or a 2.7 or something. I saw a D. Luckily, I seen a C before in life, so I already knew C's got degrees, so I wasn't too freaked out about that. But that D, that messed me up, and I knew, I was like, oh, I got to turn it around. So as soon as I saw that, I came back spring semester, got a 3.6 my spring semester, because I just buckled down. I was like, it's no more time for games. Like, this is me. This is your life right here. So I got it together. My second semester, I played too much my first semester, played entirely too much. Thought I could go in and I could do just like high school. Like, I could at least go in, listen to what the professor was saying, and still ace the test. It wasn't like that. I had to get disciplined. I actually had to study and study hard instead of playing around like all the other athletes. I had to get serious about my education, because if I didn't, I was going to be back at home with my parents and probably having to work some job that I hated and still hating them because I was living with them.
So I'm probably the opposite of Amber. I had a great first semester. I had a 4.0 first semester, but the more people that I start to meet, the more I started to hang out and not study. So second semester, my GPA dropped pretty significantly to like 2.75, and I was like, got to start. I started to focus more after that, going into sophomore year, and I realized like I can't really play around. Like, I'm here for a reason, not just for fun. So yeah.
Right after I graduated high school, oddly, I got on the road that night and came to New Orleans for a summer bridging program. So my freshman matriculation was a little bit easier. Of course, bridging from high school to college, I had friends that I already started with. So it was about 17 of us. So when I started school, I wasn't like, by myself. I had somebody to lean on. But what I did struggle with is that at that summer bridging program, we only had 3 classes. So I'm sure you guys know how weighted GPAs are. And I started with a 3.3 GPA, as according to any of the other students coming in, they started with 4 O's. So I'm on a full ride scholarship. I have to get a 3.5 at the end of spring semester every year. I'm starting with a 3.3 already. Where am I going to fall? Am I going to keep my scholarship? Like, what's going to go on? So my whole freshman year, my first semester, I know, spent me being in my room with a blanket on my head. And I kid you not, anybody that came in my room, blanket on head, I was in my bed or I was at my desk doing homework for hours, studying for hours. Like, I Uber Eats, go back to my room, didn't go to Kearney. Like, then another hard part, now that we're speaking about money, I wanted to Uber everywhere because I didn't take my car freshman year. So, like, it was a lot of different factors going on my freshman year, but I did get out of my bubble. That also goes along, like, a little pointer. Have some people that are good in your circle that can pull you out of your shell and push you to new heights, because I'm thankful for my friends and my line sisters. Well, my friends that have actually turned into my line sisters now, they have pushed me and made me grow into a different flower, a different bloom that I never even knew that I was capable of. Even best friends back at home, like one of my best friends, I've known her since elementary school. We're sorors now too. And she pushes me, her family pushes me. It's people like that that'll help you, get to the next step that you're trying to go to. So that was my freshman year. We're just going to see what this last year has in store, and hopefully we can get on out of here. So.
I'll go next. My freshman year, pretty similar to like everybody else. I came in on an academic scholarship, so I knew I had to keep my grades up somewhat. But just like everybody else, I was partying a lot my first year, first semester, meeting people, still trying to get this whole going to class on time and nobody, beating me over the head to say go to class thing. So that was a lot. About my second semester, I looked around and some of the people who I came in with had lost their scholarships. That's when you start seeing a lot of people that you thought was going to be with you all through start to kind of fall off. And to be honest with you, that really scared me into getting my stuff together, for lack of a better word. So yeah, that was my freshman year. But you know, it's a learning process. So enjoy yourself, but still realize you're there for a reason. That would be my advice.
I'd say my freshman year wasn't too bad. I just had to get used to, putting more effort into my academics and balancing when to go out and when to stay in and, do work. Because the minute you cross that line and you start going out more, it reflects in your grades. So that was kind of, my challenge my freshman year. But other than that, it wasn't so bad.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys. So the next question is kind of funny because I think we all kind of went through this. Talk about the broke college life experience, and in what ways did you and your friends find, ways to do spring break trips, go eating off campus, go grocery shopping, because that was my problem, and stuff like that. So, I mean, getting rides, all of that stuff. So talk about that.
Here in Honor, I was out there on Uber Eats and Ubering everywhere, man. One, you got money. Two, you came up through a good time because when I was at Dillard in 2010, Uber wasn't around. So it was some strange things going on to get in the car ride to go somewhere. Like my freshman year, we didn't have Taco Bell on our side of the river. That was when I was eating fast food. So I remember one time, my suite mate, she was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to this guy. He said he'll take me over there, but we gotta like pay him gas money." I was like, "All right, cool, I could do that." I hadn't had Taco Bell, which was my favorite food at that point, since I got to Dillard. So like I gave her like $50 and was like, order me one through whatever and get the rest to him. So like I don't know, we were just I don't know. The locals in New Orleans then were a lot nicer. They were strange, but I'm not gonna lie, we leaned on locals a lot. Because being a broke college student, I'm not gonna lie, I had 13 cents in my bank account for like 3 weeks, and that was like a normal thing. Like it was hard life. It was a really hard life. You start learning how to like use your iron as a microwave because technically we weren't supposed to have irons in our dorm. We did have this one girl who had like everything. She had like a slow cooker. She had a microwave. So I would use her for like a lot of stuff. She just helped me out a lot. Our alumni chapter from Dallas, they actually helped us out twice our freshman year. They sent us like gift cards to Subway and other stuff. So like I was leaning on alumni, talking to people, smiling in everybody's face because I was like, I need a meal. Like I was on a basketball team. I was burning like 3,000 calories a day. So I was going through some food. Basketball helped a lot. We had like a per diem. So I would go to McDonald's and get like $30 worth of food and hope that would last me the night. Bro, college student was extremely real. I just want y'all to know that. Like it's a very real thing. You get like $100 and you think that $100 gonna last you the year. And yeah, you be like me, you spend it and you on 13 cents for another 2 months. You become very resourceful being a broke college student. I use some of those resources to this day. And like, I'm not hurting for anything right now, but I'm still not above ramen noodles. I'm not above $1 pizza. I'm not above anything that a discount, whatever will save me money.
I'll go next. I'm gonna echo a lot of what she just said. Yeah. So, I was on scholarship, but I applied for extra financial aid to cover like my books and little incidentals. So like a lot of college freshmen and a lot of college people in general, you get that refund check that comes in after the first couple of weeks of school or a month or so. And for a lot of people, that's the first time having access to money all on their own with nobody saying anything. So you run through that money and you're looking crazy after the first couple of months of school and everybody's going out. You want to have a good time, but you got to call your mom and dad. They don't want to hear that because they know you got that money back. So, it's a struggle. Some people have to work through college too. So that's a whole nother battle to go through as well. But yeah, those broke college days are not fun, but you find ways to get around it. Like you said, back when I was in school, I went to Norfolk State in 2010, so we didn't have Uber Eats. So like she was saying, we had to rely on somebody that was older to give you a ride to go get something to eat. Or, you were eating food on campus if you could. Sometimes the caf wasn't really the place where you wanted to eat at, but you had to struggle through it. I remember walking to 7-Eleven at nighttime, all kinds of stuff, just trying to make it work. So it's a period, but it won't last forever. And some of those things you'll keep with you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
I'm serious. Like my freshman year, I don't know if any of you guys out there are spoiled. Like y'all probably had y'all car y'all senior year. Y'all was like, well, I'm gonna be a freshman. I'm gonna drive everywhere. I'm gonna go get food. Go to like I didn't have the car the freshman year, like at all. And I wanted to get off campus a lot. Like I like going shopping. I like going to explore and see new things. I'm in a new city. Why can't I leave? Like I'm trying to go. So my problem really was Uber. My mom would give me money to Uber around, and then after I would use that, I'm like, hey girl, what you doing? Like, can I have some more Uber money? I'm trying to go here, here, and here. And I just really had to learn, like, for one, sit at home. Sometimes you save money by sitting at home. And then two, I did have other broke college student stories. I didn't like our dining. I don't like our dining hall on campus. So I wanted to eat out and can't eat out 7 days a week. So there's that. But definitely college teaches you how to budget. Like I'm like, I'm not going.
I think we're having a lag with your internet connection, Honor.
So, yeah. So you can spend a little bit later.
I'll message her on the side so we can get that
like
together.
A robot.
Okay. Yeah, looks like we lost her. Was there another person for this question? I'm sure she'll be back on. It's okay. It's technology. We understand. We get it. We're glad you're back.
So we'll take like one more answer for this question so we can kind of move into the career section as well. We have one more question we want to ask you guys. In this
All right, I'll go. You know, being a broke college student at times was rough, like, cause like Honor said, I did not like the dining cafes on campus. So I would eat like stuff that would cost with my meal plan, or I'd order, you know, Uber Eats all the time. So eventually my money was just running. I didn't want to keep asking my parents because they're like, what are you doing with the money? Like, I just gave you money last week. So, you know, at times it was really ramen or sleep for dinner. Like, you know, there was no way around it. But it definitely humbled me. At some point I'd be like, okay, I don't want to end up where I was with the ramen and the PB&Js and sleep for dinner. So then I'd really humble myself, like, okay, you know, you can't order out today, maybe in a few days. So yeah, I feel like every college student has to experience it. It sucks, but you know, it helps.
Awesome, awesome. So we'll do one more question in this section, then I'll hand it over to Sha'Kayla to go into careers. So the last question I want to ask you guys is, do you feel any pressure as a minority in STEM, and how do you handle it or deal with it? So this is during college, during your, if you want to pull in somewhat of your career, that would help also.
I would say since I went to HBCU, I would say I didn't feel the pressure, but my professors definitely put the pressure on me. Like I remember vividly, my second semester, my sophomore year, spring semester, sophomore year, I was traveling a lot, and it wasn't like, you know, just travel to have fun. Like I was traveling for either basketball, track, I was presenting research. So like I know for a month I was gone the whole time. So like I went to my professor. I was taking Cal 2 at the time, and if you've ever taken Cal 2, you know it's like the hardest calculus class of all of them. So I went to him for like office hours, and you know I'm trying to get some understanding of everything he taught, because you know midterms coming up, and I know I'm like if I don't go, I'm gonna fail. And so like he's telling me, yeah, we can do this today. Can you come by tomorrow? And then like you know he's asking some other days, and I'm like, oh nah, like I have a basketball game I got to travel to. And he's like, so what about here? And I'm like, basketball is gonna be over, but I'm going into track. And then I was like, oh, I gotta go present research. And he started crying. And I was like, yo, like, why are you crying? And he was like, this is your education. Like, you are a Black woman. You need to know this. You're gonna be a great engineer. You have to know this. So like ever since then, like it was a lot of stress, like after he said that, because I mean, he was right. Like, you know, I had an opportunity that some people didn't, that they don't get. And especially like, you know, after my freshman year, I had 2 opportunities. So I was like, I can't fumble this twice. So after that, like it literally had me going to office. I was in his office and we were in like the math area to like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I said, I still got to get up and go to practice the next day. So that was hard. Into my career, it's definitely a lot of pressure. You see it in everyone's faces when you walk in and you say you're an engineer, you're the engineer for the project, and they look at you like you're a young Black woman. You're under 30. Oh, you're trying to tell me what to do. So I get that a lot. You know, sometimes they take you seriously when you start talking and you act and you know what you're talking about. But I know even at AT&T, like I got a lot of, you must know somebody. Like, how did you get this position? You must know somebody. And no, I don't. I applied and I interviewed like everybody else. But they just figured because I came from this small school and not like, you know, the Auburns, the Alabamas, the Georgia Techs, that I had to have known somebody. So that put pressure on me to like, okay, you think I know somebody, but I don't. So now I have to ball out. Like, I have to. So I'm in this current position now. And luckily, I'm not a minority anymore, but the people that I interface with, again, are a lot older than me, and they're, you know, different race than I am. So when I walk in, and sometimes, you know, I walk in with a fitted shirt, like I don't believe in the whole baggy, any of that, even though I'm an engineer and I'm like doing construction stuff all day. Walk in with a fitted shirt, tight jeans, and they're looking at me and they're like, you know, they already had this preconceived notion about me, but then when I start getting to work and they see how I work, like I don't play games when I work, then, you know, they change their mindset. So it's always this constant pressure of like, I have to do well. Like, this project can't feel like, I've gotten to the point now, like if the smallest hiccup goes in my project, I'm like, okay, breathe. It's going to work out. Like, just because this one little hiccup came in, they're not going to look at all Black women and be like, oh, they're all this. So it is still pressure because I do want to set a precedence that we're the best people for the job, honestly. This is how I want it to go.
As a minority, I went to University of Nebraska-Lincoln last year. It was a program of 115, and it was only 4 Black people, and I was one of them. It was a 10-week program. I was away from home, 16 hours away from Atlanta, where I'm staying, and it was definitely a culture shock. The first week I was up there, I remember being in the cafeteria, and a boy that was supposed to be blind came up to me with the Confederate flag hat and dangled it in my face and said, you need to go back to where you came from. And I remember that very first week, I called home several times, like, Mom, like, come get me. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I went to my different lab trainings. Now, mind you, I'm a sophomore going into my junior year at this time. I'm a sophomore going into my junior year. I'm really not that competitive. I kind of just got into the program kind of off of a whim and someone taking a leap of faith. So it was one of those things where I already kind of had that imposter syndrome in myself, like, I'm not as good as everybody else that's up here. I put on my white lab coat and I'm like, I'm not as confident. And I was thankful enough to have a Black mentor while I was working in the research lab. And she talked to me and dropped some golden nuggets on me and was basically like, you know, when you put your lab coat on, show them what you're made of. You know, you don't have to always say it, but just show them. And I just let my work do the talking. You know, as a minority, my skin is never going to change. But what can change and what I'm going to show y'all change is what, you know, what the common stereotype is. You know, it's no Black people, it's no Black women in STEM. Oh, well, y'all don't know anything. Like, I'm going to change that. I want to be the one to change that. And I think that's just where it starts with us. All of us that are on this call, like, it's important. Like, we need more of ourselves into this career path. We need more of ourselves in this industry. Just, you know, my advice to anybody is don't get discouraged, because I was discouraged. Like, I called my mom home, like, come get me, please. I was in Nebraska, and it's serious. And I know you guys probably think it's small, but it meant a lot to me. That hurts. And, you know, I'm around a lot of people I don't know, people coming from Yale. I had people in my program from Harvard, some of your heavy hitting other Big Ten schools in STEM. I really felt low. I'm like, I go to little old Dillard. I'm a chemistry major. I didn't know if I wanted to do chemistry before I came here, but I'm here. I'm alive and well. And that was a big jump for me. So, you know, just don't get discouraged. Keep your eyes on the prize. If you can put your mind to it, you can do it. And the sky is not the limit. Shoot and aim further. So that's it.
I definitely agree with what they said already. Going into my major, especially when I first started going in my classes, I initially got nervous because most of my classes were males. You know, you don't really see a lot of female IT majors, so, or Black ones at that. So I went in and I'm seeing a whole bunch of Caucasian or Asian males, and I'm just like, do I really belong here? You know, like even till now, I think I've only seen like 3 other Black girls in my major. Like, you don't see a lot of us. So every time I actually see somebody that's already in this career path, I'm like, oh, she looks like me, so I could actually do this. But for the longest, I really wasn't confident. Like, I was like, I don't think I could do this. Even if, like, you know, I'm not understanding something, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not really, you know, smart enough for this career path that I'm choosing. So that was definitely pressure, you know, being the color of my skin and my gender. You know, people already look at you like, you know, you're not as capable as I am. And sometimes we're more capable than they are. So I would definitely tell anyone out there that's scared, you know, push through, be bold. You'll never know, you know, where you land with your major. So yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for answering those questions. This is a great discussion about college, and I kind of like wanted to jump in there and put in my 2 cents because I know all about the broke college life experience. And on there, I went in like Uber Eats wasn't a thing when I was doing college. I got $25 from my mama every 2 weeks, and when that $25 was up, it was a wrap.
She watching, cause same.
It was a wrap. So, so I had to wait to be able to, you know, get everything that I needed. So now we're going to jump into our second category, where we titled this one The Real World. Our first category was A Different World, which kind of gave us that college spin. And now we kind of want to start a conversation about what happens after undergrad, or try to discuss those internships while we're in college. So I'm just going to jump straight into the first question that I have for you guys, which is, how important are applying for internships in undergrad for career development?
Internships are extremely important, mainly because I worked for like a corporate development office while I was a student, and just being able to see, they pretty much brought in all the big companies to the career fairs and stuff like that. And that's like one of the main things that companies these days are looking for. They want to see that you got some type of experience, that you, even the basic skills that you've dealt with, like Microsoft Office, or, you know, you've dealt with some of those little things, because they will easily go through your resume and see that no internship experience, we can easily eliminate you, put your resume to the side or put it in the trash pile. So I think that's extremely important. Also, it's giving you that opportunity to be able to see what type of company you want to work for. Like, how can you graduate and just jump out there and say, hey, I want to go start my career. Like, what if I moved to Oklahoma for my first opportunity. So it's like, had I not interned at other companies, I wouldn't have had anything to compare it to. So I think that's super important to intern. It just gives you that experience. It kind of helps you out with that negotiation, because I know some people, they'll graduate from like undergrad and they'll be so thirsty for a job opportunity that they may not know, like, I could get this type of money at these different, they may not know Apple is paying their interns $30 an hour, whereas you just go jump into some other local company and getting paid 15 to 17 an hour when you have a bachelor's degree or something like that. So I feel like that it gives you that experience to understand that whole negotiation phase, understand, that diversity aspect of a company, and just everything that you need to know before you get ready to jump out there into the real world and commit yourself to any company for a longer period of time.
To piggyback on what he just said, yeah, it was internships for me were good also. Like I said, in college, I thought I wanted to go straight into medicine. So I did a couple internships that were in research. And not only did I get a chance to really see what that looked like, what are the on-the-job trainings that I would have to do, what's expected of me as a student and also as a scientist, but you also get to know, how can you fit in? Is this the right path for me? Is research what I want to do? Is medicine what I want to do? Is engineering, math, whatever it is that you want to do? Internships, I think, are the best way to kind of really get a good look at what your future is going to be. Also, it gives you the connections to other people. Say you might not want to stay at the internship that you got an opportunity to be at, but you walk away with the connection that a lot of students or other people who may not have had that opportunity that you did you get. And growing up being an adult is learning that those connections may not be on the job and maybe meeting somebody at Walmart, Kroger, whatever, but those are the ways that you get into jobs. It's all about who you know, not so much what is on your paper or even what your degree says to an extent. And for us, people of color, having that network is a big deal. And I can't emphasize that enough. Having that network early as possible is the biggest way to get started, and internships are the easiest way to kind of kick things off with that.
So I would say internships are extremely important. Coming out of my freshman year, I had my first internship and I was so scared. I didn't know anything about the professional world or how to act, what to wear. So an internship teaches you how to act professionally, what to do in meetings, what not to do. And like he said, grow your network. So my second internship, they wanted me to come back. And I didn't want to go back because I didn't like the job, which that gives you the opportunity to figure out what you like and what you don't like. But if I was to leave my job today, I know I can contact that person or the people I used to work with it, and maybe they'll have an opportunity for me, or they'll know somewhere else who has an open opportunity or who has an open opportunity for me. So I would say internships are extremely important. Don't be scared to go after internship your freshman year just because you don't have the experience. You just never know. Somebody will say yes because they say yes to me. I had no experience. So you'll never know unless you try.
I had a different path. Internships are definitely very, very important. But you can still figure it out, I guess would be the best way without one or not as many. I know I was around a lot of people who had like research internships every summer. Like that was the thing when I was at Dillard, like your summer was spent doing research. I know by nature I'm lazy. So I did one research internship and I was good on it. Again, it was a lot of pure math. And I told you I hate pure math. Like I refuse to keep my summer, like have my summer that stressed out. Like as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, that was just not a thing for me. After I did it once, I was good. And I was like, I'll just continue to do it throughout the school year. But what I can say internships would be good for is, like everyone's saying, is networking. You always want to walk away with something. I was on the basketball team, so like I had like a work study scholarship. And so part of my work study scholarship, I worked really close with our athletic director. And so with working with her, I got a lot of stuff that she, like her vision that she wanted off the ground. So with that, I got some really good recommendation letters from her in the entire sports department. I just, because I played basketball, but I helped do a lot of instrumental things like helping with our website, helping, draft up the app that she wanted to do. Like we pretty much got our basketball program where it's at now, like technology wise, and just, being able to put out content on each of the players and stuff. That was my thing. I had a lot of internships, I would say, that wasn't necessarily geared towards what I'm doing now, but the things that I took away from them were the connections. I was able to learn how to talk to people. So now I can sit up and have a conversation just about with anybody. Just because of those internships, I was faced with a lot of different people all the time. When you're, I guess, an athletic director role, with so many different personalities and stuff that you have to deal with, and even on the basketball team. So those interactions I had taught me how to work with people, how to negotiate with people, how to, play nice with people. So like, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's pretty much, like, I learned a lot of soft skills from my internships because, like I said, after the research one, I was very good on it, like very, very good on it. So I learned a lot of soft skills. I learned how to speak. I learned how to, get things done. I learned how to convey whatever was going on in my mind to somebody else so they can get it done. I learned how to delegate. I learned I was taking on too many tasks. And so I was like, all right, let's delegate this out to somebody else. You know how to do this. Let's get this done. So internships teach you more. Like, I wouldn't say just look at it as like, oh, I hate it. Like, look and go into something and see what you can get out of it, whether it's, you know, more knowledge in the field that you're going into, or just something that will help you in the long run, like how to be confident in front of people.
The only advice that I'm gonna give is that if there, why not go get it? You know, take those leaps of faith. It might not be something that you're 100% sure about, but don't be afraid to test the waters when it comes to internships. Like I said, when I went into my very first internship last summer, I didn't know what I was doing. I did redox biology, and I'm a chemistry major. That, you know, has no. So it's a total different end. That's what I'm trying to get across. So just take advantage of the opportunities that are given. If you're at a HBCU, if you're in high school, ask questions. Ask people that might know a little bit of something to put you in that direction to be a little bit of something. That makes sense. And just when you get to these internships, show out. Like, show them what you made of, show them why you're Black and proud. Like, do that, do everything that you need to do, because you're there for one reason, and that's to get whatever the end result is of that internship. And that's the bottom line.
Okay, so we will go right into our next question with, what are your next goals in life?
Ooh, okay, next goals. The position I'm in now, I'm a system integrator. I've been in this position since April, so I'm still fairly new to it. But I see myself in the next year moving up to like either a mid manager. I think my path has always led me towards like leadership, and I've just been kind of running from it. As much as I like to stay technical, I love fixing things. I love, you know, putting my headphones in and knocking out problems. But I think the path that I'm on is going into leadership. So the next goal would be to learn what I can in this role for another year or two, move into a leadership role, mid-manager, and then like director. Eventually, I would like to be a vice president or a CEO of somebody's company. That's the end goal. So we'll figure out how to get there. That's my only goal for fit. I'm not going back to school. Like, I commend all of you all for the doctor's degrees that you have. Those are absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna keep y'all around just so I can say my friends have doctor's degrees, because I'm not going back. I got my MBA, and that's as good as I have it for you all.
All right. So some of my next goals are, I pretty much, as I kind of develop and learn myself and went through college and everything, I'm of course a major in electrical engineering, but along the way, Georgia Tech will find a way to make you hate your major and hate the school. So I'm gonna be honest, like I still love electronics, but as far as like doing electrical engineering work and stuff like that, I have no interest in it anymore. That's why I'm in cybersecurity, because I love like the cyber aspect, protecting information and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing right now, from a military defense perspective. But moving on, I learned that I really just wanted to use STEM to fuel my personal passions, and I've always been good with like finance and things like that. So what I'm doing is just using the income that I earn from my career to be able to fuel my passion in entrepreneurship. So I have like a lot of stuff going on that I'm doing on the side to kind of help pretty much build myself so that I'll be self-sustaining and can pretty much be my like own boss and stuff like that moving forward.
I guess I'll go next. Okay, so I just graduated from my graduate school with my PhD, so I'll be going into my first real career job. I'll be a postdoc, so that's about a 2-year program where I'll be working at. During that 2 years, I'll be trying to get a master's in public health, And I'll also be trying to learn how the company runs so I can run my own company. Like everybody else said, I think the biggest thing that we can do as African Americans and people of color is to own your own. So that's what I want to do, but I also will be applying for med school. So when I finish my postdoc, I'll be going back to school for another couple of years. And then then coming out and running my own biotech company and doing research on the side. So we'll see how everything plays out. But it's a long journey, but it's worth it, man. It's worth it. If people are willing to pay you to do what you're passionate about, then find a way to do it. That's my advice.
Okay, so the next question that we will go into is, for those of you who are working, are there any opportunities for undergraduates at your workplace? And if so, can you discuss those opportunities?
I'm always quick to throw out a referral link. So send them my email address. I'll send out some referral links. Since I'm fairly new, that's all I've been doing. Like I've been trying to get all my friends on too, because we're going through a tough time right now with everybody getting furloughed and not knowing the certainty of careers and everything. But one thing I do know, UPS is not shutting down. So I've been throwing out links left and right. I do know we have internship opportunities. I have a great intern named Matt right now. Like honestly, he's so great. My boss is thinking about like hiring him once he graduates next year. So I could definitely look into those positions. I know we have internships in different spots. Like I said, I work in system engineering. So any majors, it doesn't matter. If you need like finance or whatever, I'll go find somebody over there. Good thing about UPS, a lot of the people in the leadership that call the shots are, minorities. So it makes it very, very easy.
The company I'll be working with, they have a ton of different opportunities for undergraduates. They have internships, they have co-ops. A co-op is basically you work for a company or you work for any division, and you get college credit for that too, or graduate credit. So it's kind of like an extended internship. Also, they have mentorship programs for people who are in undergrad and also in graduate school. That's actually how I got to this position through one of their mentorship programs. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities. I think they actually are starting some high school initiatives too, just to kind of get people interested in science in general. So yeah, there's opportunities out there.
So I work for an oil and gas company, and we offer internships and co-ops as well. But due to COVID, the internship this past summer was canceled, but hopefully we can fix things in the next year and it can be picked back up. So yeah.
Thank you, guys. Two more questions. The next question will be, do you guys have any career interests outside of STEM? And can you guys discuss that? Everybody's smirking now, like I don't want to admit it, but what's
I'm going to answer this, you guys. If I could be honest, outside of STEM, I could be a stand-up comedian. I'm hilarious. That's it. See, I told y'all it was funny.
I would pay to come see you. That was funny. I got you. For me, I would want to run my own gym, get into like personal training. I did it last year. I had like a year of just kind of, I guess I'm gonna call it finding myself. So like I worked at Staples as a tech, I was a tech. I was fixing computers and selling stuff, and then I went and managed the gym. And so like I really, really enjoyed when I was working at the gym. Like I hated having to like sell memberships and stuff, but the whole like having, the camaraderie of the people coming in and out, and then I was training people, and they were happy that they were seeing results and stuff like that. And I got to work out all day for free. So that was very fun. So like, if life ever wants to do some funny stuff again, I hope I end up at a gym. But I want it to be my own gym though.
So I think I'm pretty great with finances and stuff. I've always had a passion for it. I think that that's something that I can always extend a hand out and help people. So I see myself probably being like an angel investor one day. Just I really want to take people who are passionate about something, the things that they're passionate about, but just may not have that financial backing and be able to back people. So I think that that's something that I really want to get into. Of course, it comes with, ownership in companies and stuff like that, kind of like a Shark Tank type thing, negotiating with people, percentages and stuff, but just being able to see people not let finance be a threshold or obstacle to them pursuing their goals, because I know that can be a big thing. So
I'm a part-time DJ, so I would love to do that. If that could pay my bills, I would be happy, very happy to leave science. Of course, I still love science. There's no shade to science because it keeps my lights on. So thank you, Jesus, for that. But yeah, you can catch me at your local concert. That would be dope. That'd be dope.
Okay, I think that was everyone. And our last question is, what advice would you give a young person interested in a STEM career?
Don't run from it. Don't think that you're not smart enough for it. Like I said, fourth grade, long division, I went home crying. Like literally, I cried in the classroom. Kids was laughing at me because I was crying because I didn't understand. But I came back at it. A few years later, found some people who kind of believed in me, and I'm here today. So I would definitely say don't feel like it's just not for you. Like I can tell you right now, my dad never finished high school. My mom stopped helping me with my math homework in the third grade. So it literally can't be on you if you want it. Like you just literally have to want it. But it's really fun. I think that's like the point of this panel. We just want to explain, like, it's not all study, and make sure you get this grade and make sure you remember this pattern. Like it's actually pretty fun for the most part. Like I said, I like, as much as I hate pure mathematics, I like the whole, like, I like to get to that point when I'm like, I got it. Like after 3 pages of one problem, I like to say I found the answer, and that's pretty good. I know that was one thing that was discouraging to me. Like when I ran across my first pure mathematics class, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should go look into accounting or anything else but this class. But I'm glad I stuck with it, and it ended up becoming, a very rewarding career for me.
Some advice my mom always gives me, which actually kind of helped me become the person that I am, is that be honest with yourself, and if your heart isn't in it, don't force it to be. Going to college is 4 years or however many years you decide to take on. It's an X amount of years of your life that you're going to be spending doing something. Don't waste it on something that you know that you're not passionate about. And I mean, it's okay to experience things and like kind of get your feel for what career path that you might want to go into. But once you make your decision, like be solid in that, be true in that. Don't do anything just for money. I mean, paychecks are nice, don't get me wrong, but don't go into a job or a career field seeing the dollar sign and you're not actually really happy or satisfied with your normal day would look like. So those are just a few tips that I could give. I think of anything else, I'm gonna chime back in.
I would say don't be afraid of a challenge, because STEM is definitely going to challenge you in all aspects, and that's just going to prepare you for life, because in life you're going to face adversity, and if you first face adversity with schoolwork, that's just going to help you in life for long term. So don't be afraid of a challenge, because it's going to be a challenge in everything you do.
So thank you guys for all of your responses. This wraps up our panel discussion on talking about our college experiences, as well as giving a lot of insight on careers of what happens after STEM, well, what happens after undergraduate. And I will now give the floor to our board member, Dr. Alyssa Cobb.
Well, I'll just follow Sha'Kayla and let you guys know that was a wonderful discussion. I was laughing over here I appreciate you guys for just being honest and being genuine with your answers. So this part of the segment, or this part of the meeting, we want to open the floor out to the attendees today, and just see if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask the panelists, whether it's, what is their actual job title, what do they do, in and out. So feel free to generate some questions and put it in the question and answer link below, or button below. So we'll give you guys a few minutes. We would love to have some questions to ask the panelists. I think you guys did a wonderful job. So we'll wait. Okay, so I have a question. Miss Annette asks, are there certifications that you all had to have for your discipline?
For mine, not really, but I can say in my field, they're strongly desired. When I graduated college and I got into my career, I realized that certifications actually hold more weight than degrees do, and I was kind of upset about it. But yeah, like if you like CompTIA, ITIL, any of those certifications, like honestly, it's easier to get an entry level IT job having a certification, or however level you want to go up to, than it is getting a degree. It's much easier getting a job. Like for some reason that propels your application to the forefront.
Okay. Anybody else with insight?
Anyone that's, oh, sorry. Are you sure you want to go?
No problem. Let's go ahead.
Anybody that's interested in pharmacy, like me, there's pharmacy tech certifications and license. So I went through that process to get it. I literally kid you not, certifications and license do make a difference. Before I applied, I didn't get accepted. They told me no, and that I wasn't good enough. And then as soon as I put my certification number in, oh yeah, here's a job. So yeah, go get a certification. Go get a license. I challenge everybody to have something extra next to their name other than, Mr. or Mrs. or Doctor. Like, put some more letters next to your name. Have something else to put on your resume that sets you out from the rest.
Yeah, so to kind of piggyback with what Amber said, in cybersecurity, certifications are pretty much everything. You can have experience in certifications and get paid way more, and have way more opportunities than someone with a PhD and no experience. So they're extremely huge. If you're in the cybersecurity, like a CISP or a Security Plus, that's like two very highly respected certifications that you can pretty much walk into any opportunity with just having those baseline certifications.
Thank you. I will just ask for Amber and Quentin, can you just kind of tell us what those acronyms are in case anybody wanted to Google it really quick?
I'm sorry. I don't know if you Google any information technology certifications. CompTIA is COMPTIA plus. A lot of those are a lot of good entry levels that I feel like any high school senior or early on in your collegiate career, you should get some of those so you can get those better internships. So you can, of course, see if you like it or not. I'm studying now for my CompTIA Security Plus, which is another kind of like information security type of certification. So I want to learn how to protect like the network a lot more. I already have a Network Plus certification and A+. I got my A+ certificate, which is computer hardware. I got that when I was working at Staples last year. Network Plus, I got it right after because I started out as a network analyst, and I'm just very interested in security now. So that's like next on my list.
Okay, thank you. And Quentin, you said C something.
Certified Information Systems Security Professional. So that's like the big dog degree. That's like if you have to have a certain number of years of experience in the field before they even let you test. So it's like that's the big one, and then the Security Plus is like the baseline one where you just pretty much can go take it, and that'll give you pretty much an edge up above the typical profile of someone going into like the cybersecurity field or information technology.
All right, thank you. Miss Brianna asks, how did you truly know what college was for you or which college was for you?
Can I be honest and answer this question?
Yes, you can.
I still don't know what college is best for me. And I know that sounds crazy, but my whole way of thinking is like, yeah, I made the decision to come to Dillard. My heart was at Xavier at first, but how do I know like something didn't get fulfilled from me not going to Xavier, or some other schools that I applied to or were looking at and probably didn't get accepted? How do I know that that school wasn't for me? So all I can do is kind of just be thankful for what Dillard has fulfilled for me. Be thankful for, how do I say this? Just being thankful for God leading me in that right direction, because you know, usually when God leads you places, it's for a reason, and if he's gonna get you to it, he'll get you through it. So that's how I kind of just made that final decision. I guess I'm gonna be staying at Dillard. So
Anybody else?
Yeah. Pretty much exactly what she just said. I prayed on it a lot. I do encourage people to go visit the campus. That's something that I think was very instrumental. If you can, there's several programs for teens I know, starting like junior, senior year. I can shoot y'all some information too. But they host like different programs, and if you go on these college tours, the cool thing is you get like 6 or 7 free applications to these schools. And I know there's a couple of those programs for HBCUs. So honestly, that's actually how I got to choose what school I went to. Went on a college tour through this program, who paid for me to apply to 6 different HBCUs. I saw them up close. You got to talk to professors and students. Reach out to people, even if it's your grandma, 3 generations from now. She might know something that you can, that'll help you deter your decision. But also, I would say going to any college, pretty much you make the experience. And I would also say be financially responsible when you're making a decision to go to college. If you can go somewhere that can afford, to pay for your education, definitely take that into consideration. I know that was a big part of me going to college as well, because my parents at the time didn't have it to, necessarily just pay out of their pocket. So think about that as well. If you can go for a scholarship, why not? Make the experience your own, but pray on it. Go visit, see how it vibes with you, talk to people who've been there, and again, pray on it one more time. And then God's gonna put you in the right place. And even if you think it's the wrong place, sometimes the teachings that he gives you while you're in the wrong place, you think you're in the wrong place, are some of the best lessons you'll ever have. So just be at peace with whatever decision you make.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Doreen, and then we'll go to the next question.
Okay. I definitely agree with Ian. Definitely go look at the campus, because you're going to spend at least 4 years there. So you want to make sure you actually like where you're going to be the majority of the time. And also look at the programs that they offer for your major. I know going in as an accounting major, Montclair had the 5-year program, which was your bachelor's and master's together instead of spending 6 or 7 years in school. So that was definitely something that drew me even closer to Montclair. So definitely look for programs that'll help you out in your major.
Thank you. So Tiara, she asked Ian, how did you figure out what area you wanted to study in the grad program at Morehouse School of Medicine? You're on mute, Ian.
Sorry. So if we're being real, how do I answer this question? Okay, so when I was an undergrad, I had a couple different internships. One was in like protein dynamics, one was in nanotechnology, and a couple other were in different fields. One was in microbiology. So I got a kind of a taste of different things. So I would say start out with that. Start reading papers, stuff that just generally interests you. If it's somebody in your family that might have a disease, state that you are interested in because of that interest, because of that family member, how close they were to you. I know for me, I chose cancer. I lost my grandmother at a really young age, about 10 years old, to renal cancer. So that was something that impacted me throughout my childhood, and I wanted to learn how to fight cancer. So that's really why I chose cancer. But one thing I will be honest with you about when you go into grad school, even at Morehouse, is making sure you interview whoever you're going to be working under. Look and make sure that they have funding. That's a number one thing. I know for a lot of students, determining how you get out and when you get out, that's the most important part. But that funding is a major thing. It's just like dating. You want somebody who's financially responsible. You also want somebody who's going to have the time to mentor to you. So a lot of times you might go to a different institution and they may have an opening for that, but you might not necessarily glue with the people who work in that field. So that's a big thing to take into account. Who can I work with? Who's really going to put that time into, helping me develop to be whatever I want to be. But like I said, just having a general interest for something that you may affect you or somebody that really pushed me into what I wanted to do.
And now you're our cancer specialist alongside Sha'Kayla. So we have about 2 more questions. We want to kind of, keep things a little shorter so we can move forward with the program. I don't know how much time we have. But Tashiana asks, how do you decide on what type of internships are best suited for your career path?
For me, my internships, I chose something that I thought would challenge me, making me step outside my comfort zone. I know this last internship that I had, we had like a presentation at the end, and I don't like presentations, so I was like, let me not choose this, but let me pick this one because I think this will grow me in my career. Because I know you have to talk in your career, you have to present things. So that was one thing. And then a lot of career fairs, they'll give you, at my school, they'll give you like a booklet, and they'll have the companies and what majors they're looking for, and it's things like that. So that's how you could choose as well.
Okay. Thank you, Jada. Anyone else? How did you decide on your internships that were best suited for your career path? Or maybe you didn't know.
My professor, Dr. Dye, he has a lot of pull in the math world, so he got me my internship for, I guess, my career.
So maybe let me follow up that question. Did you know when you chose that one, Amber, whether that would help you in the career that you're doing now?
No.
Does it help you?
No, I would say I'm more if it came down to the type of person I am, I'm a reactive person versus a proactive person. So I really, whatever you give me, I will make something out of it. I don't really care. It don't have to be for something specific because I hate having to put myself in a box and say, hey, you're only going to do this. Like I said, I'm going to go into something. I'm going to see what I can get out of it. And whether it's something that's for my career, which that internship had nothing to do with what I'm doing now. But like I said, none of the internships that I had, like I was a broadcaster for Little League Baseball. Like that was my internship. I was trying to help get their audience out there and let people know about the sport. And I ended up becoming like a statistician, which, helped me with my math and everything. But I already like stats. When I was working with my athletic director, I'm not doing anything sports-wise or sports management-wise now. Like I currently play sports, but I don't do anything sports management-wise. But when the talks that I would have with her, the tasks that she would have me do, they help me in some sort of way now. So I don't really just kind of look at things like, oh, is this going to help one area of my life, or am I going to look at it as like, all right, let me see what it's going to do for the next area of my life. Like I feel like what I'm doing now is not what I'm going to be doing in like 5 to 10 years. Like I said, I see myself going into a leadership role. So, it's going to be, this is cool for what I'm doing now. Like I'm taking the skills that I'm getting now. Like, I'm meeting a lot of people as I'm on the road a lot. I'm learning time management. I'm learning how to, keep myself in order as I'm on the road. So I'm learning all these different skills that are eventually going to help me when I do transition over into those roles later on in life.
Okay, thank you. And the last question, Miss Bethany asks, what mistake did you make in college that taught you the biggest lesson?
One of the mistakes that I made, I have a problem with kind of letting my right hand man know what my left hand's doing. So that's a huge mistake in college. you can't be so trusting of individuals, and sometimes your goals should be personal. Like, that's what you're working towards, not the whole campus. So try keeping those type of things to yourself. I mean, it's okay to give advice here and there to help others along the way, but at the end of the day, you kind of got to like help yourself a little bit before you can help other people, and not lend the hand until you know that you're sure that that's, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like, so that was one of my biggest lessons. Another one would definitely be staying in my dorm. You miss out on so much. I did that my freshman year, and some of the bonds and connections that I could have made on a more professional level, like with different fairs that I probably took advantage of then. I'm kind of missing out on that right now since we are in the middle of a pandemic, and I'm kind of wishing I could go back and be like, oh, okay. So definitely like utilizing the resources on campus and keeping like your personal and any kind of goal that you have just to yourself until you can work on it and be the best you.
Okay. Anybody like to follow up? Go ahead, Sha'Kayla. I'm giving it back to the co-founders here.
So thank you so much, Alyssa, for leading the Q&A session. Thank you so much, panelists, for answering those questions honestly. This is something that our audience definitely needs. And we will now just swiftly move directly into our, Okay, we will now, can you guys see the screen? Am I controlling the screen? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's technology, guys. I can't see the. Okay, so we will now move directly into our trivia for our audience, and I will allow for our board member, Miss Annette Inti, to lead this one.
All right, guys. So I think it was a really, really good time tonight. I actually, even at this stage of my career, gained and learned a lot. But at the beginning of this session, our co-founders introduced some value statements that LGS has. So our question is, how many value statements does Let's Get Stimulated have? A, 3, B, 5, C, 7, or D, 4? The first person to answer in the chat will win the prize for this evening. So we'll wait on you guys. When I see the first correct answer, I will call it out. Keep them coming, guys. I think there's literally everything except the right answer, so. All right, Ms. Brianna, congratulations. You're the winner. 5 value statements. So to learn more about LGS, you can go on our Instagram handle. All the information will be at the end to read more about them. So thank you for your participation.
Thank you so much for that, Annette, and congratulations, Brianna. Send us an email. We're going to have our email information up on the screen. Okay. Oh, sorry, y'all. This is okay. So ways to donate to Let's Get Stimulated LLC. There are methods of payment through our PayPal account as well as our Zelle that is linked to our email address, and all of the proceeds that we're getting from our sponsors as well as donations are going to the students that we are helping for scholarships, which are high school students, are early college students with undeclared majors who are seeking a degree in STEM related majors. Also, if you want to do more than just donate, but you actually want to become a sponsor, please send us an email at letsgetstimulated@gmail.com to learn more about our sponsorship packets. And Miss Brianna, please take our email down because we would need a little information from you to get in contact with you to give you your prize for winning. I also would like to mention, because we discussed college and we discussed a lot about internships, please visit the NIH website, where there are tons of internships for undergraduate students that are available. I think that's nih.gov, if I'm not mistaken, but you can definitely Google NIH and it will come up. Also, we would like to thank everybody for attending. Thank you guys so much for being so very patient with us. We ran a little bit over time because we're just so excited when we talk about science, and everyone that's on the call tonight that's talking, we're all passionate about the same goal, and that's kind of really trying to drive the next generation to want to go into STEM majors and STEM careers. We definitely want to give a huge thank you to all of our panelists, because this would not be possible without either of you. So thank you all so much. Brittany and I will hope to stay connected with you guys. Brittany, if you want to chime in and say something to our audience and our panelists before we swiftly move over to the next slide, please do so.
I had to unmute myself. Sorry, I gave her control of the computer, so had to figure that out. Technology yet again. So yes, we want to thank you guys so much. These people that are amazingly awesome were timely. They made things so smooth for us. They were down to do just about everything for this panel discussion. So it means the world to us that you guys, stuck in there, hung in there, and helped us with our first event. Definitely means a lot. So we definitely appreciate you. For all the people who attended, who shared, who followed, all of that, we are grateful. We are very new, so trying to get our footing and actually grow into a company that can help people. That's our overall goal. So definitely thank you to everyone who has put in any effort into making Let's Get STEMulated what it is today. So back to you, Sha'Kayla.
Thank you. As you guys see, so Brittany and I are the co-founders of Let's Get STEMulated. We also like to thank our beautiful board members for all of their hard work and always open and welcome to answer our late night phone calls, FaceTimes, and text messages. And when we have ideas about what we're doing next, we know that you guys have busy schedules, but just thank you guys for your support. Again, audience, please contact us. Our email is letsgetstimulated@gmail.com. We can definitely be reached on Instagram at lets_get_stimulated. Definitely spread the word to any high school students that you may know, any college students you may know, any companies who want to donate to help us get the scholarships out. Have them to follow us on Instagram. Follow our visit our website at letsgetstimulated.weebly.com. And then also please donate or spread the word to donate through our PayPal and our Zelle. That's linked to our email at letsgetstimulated.com. And finally, I don't know who has control. Is it me or you?
It's still you.
Oh, it's not working for me. Let me just stop the control so we can get to the thank you slide, because it's not working for me. Technology.
That's fine. Okay, so this is the final slide. Oh, okay. There we go. So yeah, we just wanted to say thank you again to everyone who has attended. We have recorded this, so we'll post it on our Instagram and probably our personal pages as well. We'll share with the panelists if they want to share it with anyone who wasn't able to share. Same thing with the board. We'll make sure that those who were not able to get these wonderful gems of wisdom from these wonderful STEMinists can actually get some information from them as well. So thank you all again. And that concludes our program.
Thank you, guys. Oh, panelists, really quick, let me just take a picture of all this real quick. Ivory, can you bring Ivory on?
I will do that.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Thank you, Bethany, so much. Please stay connected to us with our email and our Instagram. We would love to stay connected to you.
Yes, and also there was someone else who left a comment, but I can't remember who it was, but thank you for that too. I read it, and we definitely appreciate the support.
I responded to her.
Oh,
okay, let me get this little chat thing out the way. because my computer gonna take the, okay, here we go. Okay, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Y'all, I blinked.
Oh, okay.
You do need to be a comedian. You need to be a comedian. It's solid. It's solid.
Okay, one more. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. And then one more in case Honor blinked on that one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so great job, everyone. And everyone have a great night and the rest of a very productive week, and then weekend. Forgot it's not Friday. So, bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you again. Ending now.